Once you find your shoulders dropping and your speech gets slow and hazy, you'd better change your way of being.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Triple H Breakdown, hip-hop historian. I go by the name of Rashawn. It's my man, Syfe Diggy.
What's up?
My man, Junebug.
Peace.
Today, we're going to give y'all a little something different. You know, being that we are hip-hop historians, you know, from time to time, we're going to be covering albums, yes, but we also going to cover historical hip-hop issues. You know what I mean? It's hip-hop in general, you know. So today, we're going to discuss a matter that I feel is very important in the business, and that's, well, I'll let my man June speak to you on that one because he just hit it on point so well. So
Yeah, like, for example, perfect example, you know, I was listening to MF Doom album the other day,
right.
And, you know, there's a couple of tracks on there, I'm like, wow, I could have heard Ghost on that track or Nas on this track with MF Doom. And it just makes me wonder what these A&R people at the record companies be thinking about when they allow these albums to come out the way they bringing them out. You know, it just has, it's just too watered down. I mean, how many of us could really say we can enjoy an album that's coming out today and listen to it from the beginning to the end?
no doubt.
Yeah, very few. And we were talking about that topic, and it's like there's a lot of factors that come into play. There's sometimes the labels, like, you know, some of these artists you want, their labels have never been cool. You know, like almost feuding families type thing, and they can't get on. There's had, you know, I know back in the history of hip hop, there's times where MCs had to change their whole persona and name just to get on a track with someone. That's one of the obstacles that I guess they go through to hear that dopeness.
I think overall, it's just a matter of unity in hip-hop, man. You know, and how it affects the music. Ultimately, hip-hop is a relatively young art form. You know, we can take it all the way back to the Dolomites, the Rudy Ray Moores, and you know, way Jungle Deep, but really, you know, we're talking about the early 80s and so forth. You know what I mean? That's when it really came into play, you know, with Sugar Hill Gang, cats of that nature. But it was more of a unified feeling during that time. You know, you had more of a feel to where it was the culture that cats was worried about, and brothers was in the park and they was rhyming, and it was just that feel where everybody came and they was, you know, break dancing and beatboxing, and the DJ was there doing his thing. It was more of a cultural thing. Whereas now, it's just more of a commercialized, you know, it's just the money, man. It's just the money, and a lot of times you'll have a dope song like what you might hear in the background right now, you know, One Beer from MF Doom. And June hit on it, man. I thought it was a definite dope topic to cover, is that you can hear a Nas or another cat on this song along with him. Don't necessarily have to be Nas, but and maybe he didn't want nobody else on this track with him. But at the end of the day, I think it's a lot more reasons why you wouldn't see that happen now, because everybody be in their own little zone. You know what I mean? It's like different social groups of hip hop now, where you got the flashy cats that got the champagne in their hand, they doing it up, and they fresh with the CLKs, and you know, they mafioso drug leaders and whatever the fuck have you. And then you got the group of cats who's, you know, backpacker, quote unquote, who might be more traditional with hip hop, and then you have, you know, another group who might just be the pranksters of hip hop or whatever have you, and another group who might just be, you know, just the culturally, you know what I'm trying to say here. We're gonna keep it 100. We're gonna keep it 100. You know what I mean? This ain't scripted shit. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. At the end of the day, it's not enough unity within the hip hop culture now, and it's what's breaking it apart. It's what makes it so segmented now, to where it's affecting the music. You're getting a lot of bullshit on the radio airwaves now that's not where we need to be at, man. We a lot stronger than what we're showing. And the A&Rs are putting out the shit that they want you to hear because they think that's what hip hop is, when hip hop is vast and it has so much to give.
You know, it makes me wonder if the record companies really do have control, man. I think that they deliberately dumbing down the younger generation.
Yeah.
Because back then, like, if you put out an album, let's say the 80s, you put out an album and your show had to be on point. You had to have the ability to perform. You know, if you look at the 80s Big Daddy Kane videos, these dudes gave big shows, like, with dances and everything. Run DMC, you had to show and prove. Then something happened in the 90s I think Diddy's hugely responsible for setting that paradigm, for establishing that, where you had a lot of studio musicians. So when you see them live, you be like, oh shit.
No showmanship.
It's no show. It's nothing. When I saw Foxy Brown at the Tunnel back then, I was disappointed. Like on record, she sound good. You see on the video, she look good. But when you see them live, you be like, wow. Even Jigga, even Jay-Z. I saw him at the Tunnel. The dude just stood in one spot. Didn't do nothing. Didn't move to no dancing, no nothing. So I feel like they just deliberately dumbing everybody down. They feeding people crap.
I think you jumped on a point right there. There's a lot of it is visual.
Right.
They got their publicists, so they're always seen, and their visual, they're on MTV, they're seen, and you see all this stuff like, all right, you're Nicki Minaj. When you think of her, all I think about is colors. You know what I mean? She was bright, and she had on the clothes that girls wanted at that, young girls. It's targeting, it's a whole bunch of stuff. And when you see them live, it's terrible, but you know what? They're already making their money off of PR and the visual. People are buying albums just off of visual appearance.
Yeah.
So would you agree that they removed all the conscious rap?
They control what comes in. I believe that. I believe that to an extent, and they're dumbing more than they're smart enough.
To touch on that, I think a perfect example would be Lupe's recent album, Lasers.
Okay.
Lupe Fiasco is one of the most lyrical, conscious artists that's in the game right now, who's dope beyond measure. He takes it back to the importance of the lyrics. But the problem being is that his record company, which I'm sorry, I can't, I don't know off the top of my head who he was signed to, but Atlantic. They shelved the album that he had planned because they felt like it was not suitable towards the audience nowadays, quote unquote. It wasn't suitable towards what the listeners wanted. They wanted something that was more flashy, that had that more, MTV type of effect, where it was just the glamour and the glitz and the flashing lights, and it was the party element, like, girl, I want you to know. That joint with Trey Songz.
Yeah.
Taking nothing away from their brother Trey Songz, man. And he's talented. And the song was dope. I liked it, But overall, they want something that's going to make the people party and bullshit. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all need to party and bullshit and get that relaxation element to our lives. But at the same time, you're taking a conscious artist who's giving you food for thought, and you're blocking that food for thought. Right. And instead, you're poisoning the people with some shit that is everywhere. It's glorified. You know what I mean? It's you can go to any station now and get some of that party, flashy, whatever, misogynistic bullshit. But when you have an artist who's giving you some substance, i.e. like he gave you on The Cool or Food and Liquor, and you blocking his creativity and you blocking the message that he's trying to get out to the people, or you dumbing it down to only a couple of songs, I think it's it's horrible, man. And that just goes to show how them record labels have a stranglehold on artists. It's almost not worth getting signed. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
And I know a lot of y'all might be out there now saying, fuck that, it's worth, you know what I'm saying, you gotta get signed, son, get that money. But, alright, brother, you might not always think the way you're thinking right now, man. Your life is gonna progress. You're gonna wanna cover different issues. You're gonna wanna speak about different subject matter. And let's say, you might wanna talk about gunplay all day long. What if the industry just so magically says, fuck it, tomorrow it's all about fucking dashikis and sitting in the huddle and talking about your 12th chakra or some shit like that. You're not gonna want to talk about that. You're gonna want to talk about gunplay. So at the end of the day, it's showing you how people are censoring your art and what you can give to the people and telling you what the people want to hear. That's kind of hard when you're one organization and you're saying what the entire world wants to hear as far as music is concerned. I think it's bullshit. I think that there's no artist freedom, no artist integrity anymore. No unity within hip hop.
Yeah. That's who you think control what people want to listen to though? Where you think that's coming from?
Government, mass media. I'm sorry, I just had my conspiracy thing, but it's the truth. I mean, they control everything that's going on. It comes down to the media and the label. It's not with the artist anymore. Once the artist gets to a point where he can go over the airwaves and hit them on people, it gets to a controlled area, FCC, if you will, type of thing. Exactly what they want to hit. Like I was dwelling when we was talking. All right, you remember Sound Bombing?
No doubt.
All right, that album. They they had a lot of combos, like they had Sadat X, Talib Kweli, they had
that 1999 track.
99,
yeah.
And all these. Like,
I listen to that all the time.
You know what I mean? Like that type of collab, like where they came, they were all dope and they all came in the mesh real quick. Slaughterhouse, you know, certain things like that. But where is the rest of the stuff? Where's the, like we said, MF Doom and Nas? You know what I mean? Pharoah Monch and everybody. Who you know what I mean?
I think the people need to stand up and be more proactive about what they want to hear on these radio stations. I think, because back in the day we had certain shit to where if you didn't want to hear what was on that radio, you could rock with a video music box, or you could rock with, the box. Remember the box where it was like you typed in what you wanted to watch and see and say.
Yeah.
And there was some controversy about record labels was typing in the music that the videos they want to show, but you also had that joint that was on public access. I think it was Channel 13. Where it was a cat named Bobby with his hat turned to the back.
Was it Bobby Simmons?
Bobby Simmons, yeah, fam. It's like, but I think it needs to be even more proactive than that. I think people need to just step up and say, hey man, we don't want to hear this shit, man. We're not supporting your fucking Hot 97 or your 107.5. That's New York shit, by the way,
Right.
Excuse me, not 107.5, it's BLS, but 105.1, whatever the fuck. That goes to show you how much I listen to that shit. Stop listening to this shit. Stop giving them airtime. Stop tuning into their station if you don't like the music they playing, man. Support them radio stations out there that's trying to give y'all some good shit. You can't scream about a solution when you're part of the problem.
Big time.
And I think that's a very important issue right there, man. We should stop supporting that bullshit that's out there and give the real music that light. We decide what goes on.
I think they took away the options. Like when you turn on the radio and you hear the same 10 songs being played all day, and then you look at the award shows and the same people win all the time. It's to the point where you could predict, I know who's going to win this one. Or this person doesn't stand a chance. I mean, and you got so many other people making music, good stuff that you know to yourself, like, damn, this person wasn't worthy of this award. How that happened? Like, when will that?
It's like you said, you drop something too. These record labels, they buy, like, say their artist is out, they will go and buy 100 CDs of that artist. Like each rep there will have to buy a certain amount in order to make this artist go to a gold or a platinum. There's a lot of stuff being played here. Artists, labels are working with these shows to campaign their artists.
Yeah.
Now, for the people that's dope, a lot of the people that are really dope, man, they don't have a budget like that.
Nope.
They don't. They got to gain off the people, and it gets real hard. But there's always someone to come to get the people. And once they get them, that's when the industry's like, wait a minute, we don't have to do any work. That person got his own following. Yeah. Look at Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy's career, even though, whatever. So he was on the internet. He was on, what was that thing? Was it Facebook or the one before? MySpace. He was a MySpace hero. Like, he got all these hits, and record labels, A&Rs, they don't do shit but look on the internet and they see, oh wow, this guy got all these hits. You know what? Maybe I should sign him because he has all the stuff. I don't have to build this artist right now.
Right.
So that's when you get noticed too. But at the same time, there's a lot of things get twisted.
It's like you got to pay. You got to pay for. These companies are paying for what they think we want to hear, and we don't want to hear that shit. Man.
Right.
I mean, you take away an India.Arie, you take away a Lupe Fiasco, or you censor a Lupe Fiasco, and these type of artists, and I think you poison the game to where it's not hip hop anymore. The shit is hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You just got a bunch of bullshit on the airways. It needs to stop. All right, everybody, y'all know what time it is. It's the video segment of the day. I'm Rashawn, and my choice is Troy, Pete Rock, CL Smooth. Reminisce on that. 1.
reminisce, I reminisce. Yeah.
I reminisce for a spell, or shall I say think back 22 years ago to keep it on track. The birth of a child on the 8th of October, a toast, but my granddaddy came sober. Count all the fingers and the toes, now I suppose you hope the little black boy grows. 18 years younger than my mama, but I really got beatings cause the girl loved drama. In single parenthood, there I stood. By the time she was 21, had another one. This one's a girl, let's name her Pam. Same father as the first, but you don't give a damn. Irresponsible, plain not thinking. Papa said chill, but the brother keep winking. Still he won't down you or tear out your hide. On your side while the baby make a slide. But mama got wise to the game. The youngest of 5 kids, hun, here it is. After 10 years without no spouse, mama's getting married in the house. Listen, positive over negative for the woman a master. Mother Queen's rise in the chapter. Deja vu, tell you what I'm gonna do when they reminisce over you, my God. When I date back, I recall a man off the family tree. My right hand, Papa Doc, I see. Took me from a boy to a man, so I always had a father when my biological didn't bother. Taking care of this, so who am I to bicker? Not a bad ticker, but I'm clocking Pop's liver. But you can never say that his life is through. 5 kids at 21, believe he got a right to. Here we go while I check the scene with the Portuguese lover at the age of 14. The same age, front page, no fuss, but I bet you all you know they live longer than us. Never been seen now, that's where you're wrong. But give the man a taste and he's gone. Nodding off sleep to a jazz tune. I can hear his head banging on the wall in the next room. I get the pillow and hope I don't wake him. For this man to cuss, hear it all in verbatim. Telling me how to raise my boy unless he's taking over. I said, Pop, maybe when you're older. We laughed all night about the hookers at the party. My old man standing yelling, good God Almighty. Use your condom, take sips of the brew. When they reminisce over you, for real.
For real, baby. Like that. We for real. Yeah. Come on.
I reminisce so you never forget this. The days are way back, so many bear witness the fitness. Take the first letter out of each word in this joint. Listen close as I prove my point. T to the R-O-Y, how did you and I meet in front of Big Lou's fighting in the street? But only you saw what took many time to see. I dedicate this to you for believing in me. Rain or shine, yes in any weather. My grandma Pam holds the family together. My Uncle Doc's the greatest, better get the latest. If we're talking about a car, Uncle Sterling got the latest. I strive to be live cause I got no choice and run my own business like my Aunt Joyce. So Pete Rock hit me, enough respect due when they reminisce over you. Listen.
Listen. Just listen to the funky songs as I rock on. And as word is born to the one and only. Never be another, he was my brother. Trouble T. Roy. It's like that, y'all. And it don't stop. Rock and still smooth for 92.